basically ଗୋଟେ topic ଅଛି rights based issues which is there in the prelims syllabus. Okay, which means whatever reports are coming in, okay, ତାର top rank state, ତାର lowest rank state, and ଆମ ଯେହେତୁ OPSC exam ତାର ଓଡ଼ିଶାର rank କଣ, ଏଇ ତିନିଟା ଜିନିଷ ଆମକୁ ଜାଣିବାର ଅଛି. So you have to create active recall questions for that. What was the rough timeline? When I come back 10 days later, I'll first go through these questions to see mate kete mane achi. Instead of again rereading the same thing and again having a pseudo feeling ki mate सब mane achi. I'll just quickly, instead of wasting my too much time, I'll just quickly see कि जी जो solution अच्छी, is it according to my notes या फिर मुझे जहाँ पढ़ी थी say or not. Hello everyone, welcome back to our YouTube channel. আজি ଆମେ କଥା ହବା about the most dreaded, the most unpredictable phase of this exam, the prelims exam, the prelim stage. Mains is predictable. Mains रे PYQs ଅଛି, model answers ବନେଇବାର ଅଛି, content ଯୋଗାଡ଼ିବାର ଅଛି, data points ଯୋଗାଡ଼ିବାର ଅଛି, and ଯଦି PYQs ଭଲସେ କରିଦଉଛନ୍ତି ତାହେଲେ ଗୋଟେ predictable framework can be prepared because there is a fixed syllabus. Interview is based on your hobbies, your extracurricular activities, your background, your native, your district, and some international affairs regarding, what are the current developments, some schemes, some policies. It's also predictable in many ways. Prelims, prelims is at least Ajiga date re, the evolving trend of the exam says Ajiga date re, prelims is one of the most unpredictable phases. Aguru, it was not the case. But now, with how many resources we all have at our, at our disposal, the commissions, the UPSC, OPSC, everyone is taking note of these things. कि पिलांग पाखे तो इतने जिनसे अच्छी पढ़िया पाए, why not make it more competitive? Why not make it more unpredictable? Okay. So there are 2-3 reasons for the unpredictability of prelims. One, especially OPSC prelims, if you ask me. Okay. So one is OPSC's focus on facts. Okay. Factual questions ସେମାନେ ଟାଇମ ବି ପଚାରି ଦଉଛନ୍ତି କି ଏଇ ଜିନିଷଟା ଏତିକିଟା ଟାଇମ ରେ ହେଇଥିଲା ପାର୍ଲିଆମେଣ୍ଟ ରେ या ଏତିକି ଏଇ ଡେଟ ରେ ହେଇଥିଲା 1936 ରେ. Okay. And a constitutional amendment, random constitutional amendment, random names, random current affairs, all these aspects make the OPSC prelims exam highly unpredictable. Okay. Two, OPSC's track record or standards. ଏବେ ତ OPSC को भी एका किछि कहि हबनी because last year the prelims answer की जो ଏବେ release ହେଇଛି UPSC ର ତା ସେଥିରେ ବି ତିନିଟା questions they have dropped and one question was very controversial. So OPSC's track record ବିଷୟରେ ଯଦି କଥା ହବା କୋଉ ଗୋଟେ ବର୍ଷ they dropped 9 questions, only 91 questions were counted, 9 questions were dropped. Either the option was set in a wrong way or the question itself was framed totally in incorrect way. I have actually created a video on this, controversial questions asked in OPSC. You can go watch that video to understand what I mean. Okay. And number three is YouTubers. Now, YouTubers are a big menace these days. They are, of course, YouTubers can help you. YouTubers like Shivin sir are God sent. They can help you in many ways. But then there are YouTubers who come up with these scammy things like increase 25 marks with logic, with tricks, with basically scams जोटी कि ସେମାନେ ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ rules ଦେଇଦେବେ positive rules negative rules positive rule 1 ଯଦି ଏଇ ଜିନିଷଟା question ରେ ଥିବ ତାହେଲେ it is correct ଯଦି ଏଇ ଜିନିଷଟା question ରେ ଥିବ ତାହେଲେ it is incorrect negative rules positive rules so all these scammy things जोटा कि UPSC and OPSC भी देखुଛନ୍ତି don't you think they are watching YouTube they are also watching YouTube and they are like laughing they're like बेटा तुम इतने बड़े हो गए कि हमारा माइंड हमसे बेटर पढ़ लोगे हैं so now they are UPSC this year especially prelims 2025 question paper was on a difficult side the questions were so different from what the general standard is more difficult less than 80 will be the cutoff is what is being predicted and so these people are also creating problems because they'll give you all these scammy things. You are running behind these things, and eventually you are only facing problems. Okay, so all these aspects make OPSC prelims very unpredictable, difficult, and of course, if there are 200 around 200 seats, 200 posts अच्छी, which means cutoff is generally going to be higher. Okay, generally greater than at least 90, 80 की तो हमें expect କରିପାରିବା because last के years it has been in and around that score. So hence you need to understand ଏବେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆପଣ switch କରିବେ prelims କୁ maybe ଆଉ 1 month ରେ ଏବେ ତ mains ପାଠ ପଢୁଥିବେ I understand ଯେତେବେଳେ switch କରିବେ 1 month ରେ so do ମାନେ whatever ideas I'll try and give you, please make a note of them so that ଟିକେ direction ରହିବ about how to get started with the process. Okay. In this video, I will take you through some principles of prelims. I'll take you through how to analyze PYQs. I'll take you through the subject sprints. I'll take you through active recall and memorization, how to use mocks, how to analyze mocks, and how to go about the CSAT question. Okay. So let's start with the first thing, which is the principles of prelims. So principles of prelims, so the first thing I mentioned here is time discipline. And by time, what do I mean by time discipline? See, it's a it's a game of temperament. Prelims is a game of temperament. Okay. Time discipline, by time discipline, I mean first there will be some sprints. Okay. Sprints माने 10 दिन polity, 10 दिन history, 10 दिन ये. Within those sprints, you'll have to prioritize some MCQ practice. Mock test को कितने time देबी, analysis of mock test को कितने time देबी, CSAT को कितने time देबी, revision को कितने time देबी, and then revision और recall को कितने time देबी. Exam hall रे जो 2 घंटा अच्छी, the 2 hour strategy. How do I go about those 2 hours? So, and of course, meditation ହେଇଗଲା या फिर yoga ହେଇଗଲା या फिर जे ଆପଣ ମାନେ କି ଜିମ୍ କରୁଥିବ କି some sports ଖେଳୁଥିବେ କାହାକୁ dancing ପସନ୍ଦ ଥିବ music ପସନ୍ଦ ଥିବ so meditation relaxation because brain at the end of the day has limited capacity to process things so 17-18 ଘଣ୍ଟା 3 ମାସ ପାଇଁ continuously ପଢି ହବନି 10-12 ଘଣ୍ଟା ପଢିବେ ଘଣ୍ଟେ ଘଣ୍ଟେ relaxation ପାଇଁ ରଖିବେ not relaxation like movie ଦେଖୁଛନ୍ତି या series ଦେଖୁଛନ୍ତି some sort of hobby which can be wrapped up in half an hour 45 minutes so ଏଇ ଯୋଉ ସବୁ time କେମିତି କଣ allot କରିବାର ଅଛି it a lot will depend on this your success will depend on these aspects हाँ इच्छा होची पॉलिटी पढ़ियार तो मु बसी 20 दिन पॉलिटी ही पढ़ुची मु एंशिएंट हिस्ट्री टच करूनी या फिर मु medieval history touch करूनी या फिर ओडिशा history touch करूनी because I don't like that subject no you cannot say that you have to allocate time okay हम मु खाली टेस्ट पेपर करीबी मु जमा सब्जेक्ट स्प्रिंट्स मु करीबिनी no you cannot say that so all these aspects will come into play as you start preparing for prelims so do keep this in mind okay this game is about memory retrieval. Yes, whatever facts, the fact heavy approach of OPSC, it tells you that a lot of things has to be literally memorized. खाली aware रहले हबनी. Memorization ଉପରେ focus କରିବାକୁ ପଡିବ. ନିଜ mind କୁ train କରିବାକୁ ପଡିବ how to recall those things. I'll speak about them in the next section when I talk about active recall. Okay. It's about I'll come to this in the end. ଏବେ ଖାଲି ଏତିକି ଏବେ ଖାଲି ଏଇ ତିନିଟା ଜିନିଷ ଦେଖିଦବା PYQ pattern recognition of course PYQ analysis କରିବାର ଅଛି ସେଥିରୁ ଜାଣିବାର ଅଛି କୋଉ type ର questions ପଚାରୁଛନ୍ତି and କୋଉ areas ର questions ପଚାରୁଛନ୍ତି ଏଇ ସବୁ ଜିନିଷ ଜାଣିଲେ you will automatically know what not to study PYQs will tell you what to study and they'll also tell you what not to study okay so for that a thorough analysis is required exam temperament. Exam temperament, mane, are you preparing in an exam mode, a monk mode? Like, do you have emotional regulation issues? Are you having nervous breakdowns? Okay. Are you able to regulate your emotions? Basically, emotional intelligence, जोटा हमें पढ़ू एथिरे GS4 रे. Okay. Are you able to manage those 2 hours भलसे बहुत जन भलसे prepare करिकी जानती but सेई 2 hours रे गड़बड़ हो जाए because of some issue or the other so exam temperament आपनकर को भले अच्छी even that will be a very major factor and of course it's about elimination skill जोटा कि MCQ solve करियार number one skill And for this, I'll take you through some questions. Okay. Why I say elimination skill is a big game. मैंने at least you could say that 10 to 15 questions, oh, not 10 to 15 questions, 10 to 15 marks for questions can be solved directly with just elimination based, skills. How? I'll show you. See, this question, if you can see, origin of tropical cyclones in, which of the following factors are responsible for breaks in monsoon? You understand what is breaks in monsoon? Breaks in monsoon মানে July ରୁ September ভিତରେ on an average every 2-3 days ରେ ଥରେ ବର୍ଷା ହବା କଥା या 2-3 days ପାଇଁ ଲାଗିକି ବର୍ଷା ଏମିତି ହବା କଥା. But sometimes what is noticed is um, 15-20 days ପାଇଁ monsoons ଗାୟବ ହେଇଯିବ ଗୋଟେ region ରେ northern plains ରେ for example ବର୍ଷା ହବନି totally 20 days ଗାୟବ ହେଇଯିବ ମାସେ ଗାୟବ ହେଇଯିବ and then ମାସେ ପରେ again ହବ. So that is break in monsoon. Suppose I had not revised geography properly, ମୁଁ ଖାଲି basic ଥରେ ଥରେ ଦେଖି ଦେଇଥିଲି but ଏତେ deep concept ରେ ମୁଁ ପଢିନି. Okay, but would I still be able to solve this? This is a 2023 question, by the way. Okay, I think 2022 question, my bad. Yeah. So origin of tropical cyclones in Bay of Bengal, हो सकता है, I don't know. Erratic behavior of second equatorial trough. अरे second equatorial trough ये क्या होता है भाई? I don't know. Inadequate heating of Tibetan plateau. Maybe, may not be. I don't know. Southern branch of southwest tropical jet re-establish over northern India. If I have just given one glance of all the topics, मुझे of course मुझे ଯଦି ବସିଛି ପଢିବାକୁ ମୁଁ କିଛି ତ ପଢିକି ଆସିଥିବି ନା ମୁଁ ଏତେ deep ରେ ପଢିନି but କିଛି ତ ପଢିଥିବି ମୁଁ ଏଇଠୁ ଜାଣିଯିବି ଯେ ସାଉଥ ୱେଷ୍ଟ ଟ୍ରପିକାଲ ଜେଟ୍ ବୋଲି କିଛି ଜିନିଷ ହିଁ ନାହିଁ. ଓକେ, ଯୋଉ ଜିନିଷଟା ଏଠି ସେମାନେ କହିବାକୁ ଚାହୁଛନ୍ତି that is STWJ, ସାଉଥ ଟ୍ରପିକାଲ ୱେଷ୍ଟର୍ଲି ଜେଟ୍. ସେ କନଫ୍ୟୁଜ କରିବାକୁ कि ପିଲା କନଫ୍ୟୁଜ ହେଇଯାଅ and mistake କରିଦो, they have given south west tropical jet re-establish over northern India. There is nothing like that. This is subtropical westerly jet. So this option is wrong. And hence 4 eliminated, 4 eliminated, 4 eliminated. The answer is 1, 2, and 3. Without even knowing the basics of what is break in monsoon. Okay. Pick 70, 80. Which is the following are features of good governance? ठीक अछि. I can solve it, but how elimination can help me? Rigidity cannot be a feature of good governance. Conservatism cannot be a feature of good governance. Now I look for 2 and 3. 2, 3 eliminated, 2 eliminated, 3 eliminated. Answer is 1, 4, 5 without reading the options fully. Okay. During which part of the public policy cycle does the government explore potential policy responses? Public policy got a topic achi, prelims got a topic achi, syllabus mentioned achi. Cool, done. But ମୁଁ public policy ଭଲସେ ପଢିନି. I don't know ମୁଁ ଭାଇ ମୁଁ କୋଉଠୁ କଣ ପଢିଥାନ୍ତି. I didn't know exam hall ରେ. But I'll still try and attempt this question and eliminate options. How? Let us see. Okay. Potential policy responses. ତାମାନେ ଏବେ ଏବେ ଗୋଟେ ଏମିତି ଆମେ ଷ୍ଟେଜରେ ଅଛୁ where we are brainstorming କି public ଆକୁ କେମିତି react କରିବ. ଆମେ ଯଦି ଏଇ policyଟା ଆଣିଲେ ତାହେଲେ public ଆକୁ କେମିତି react କରିବ. ତାମାନେ ଏତେବେଳେ ଯାଏ public policyଟା ଆସିନି, groundରେ ଆସିନି. ମୁଁ ସେଇଟା as an act release କରିନି କି as a gazetted notification release କରିନି. It's just I'm thinking about it, which means policy implementation cannot be, policy implement ହେଇନି, it cannot be. Policy feedback ଏଇଟା ତ implementation ପରେ ଆସିବ କି feedback କଣ ଆସିଲେ. So you have to accordingly think ki this cannot be the answer. Now answer has to be between value setting and policy formulation. If you see the timeline, value एठी set होची, policy एठी formulate होची, एठी implement होची, and एठी feedback मिलची. Okay. So value setting and formulation भितरे गोटे जिंस होइथिबो. Value setting, values is all about say एठी जहा हमें देखिले more our policy will be, it will show accountability, it will show transparency, it will show integrity, honesty, it will have social justice as a value. Okay, all these things. Why will people why will I think कि people will respond in a negative way or a positive way to these aspects? People want to see these aspects. Okay, ସେମାନେ କେବେ ଏଇ ଜିନିଷକୁ respond କରିବା ପାଇଁ ମୁଁ ଏଇ stage ରେ ବି ଭାବିବିନି. ମୁଁ ଭାବିବି about the potential policy responses in policy formulation stage. Okay. Why? Policy formulation stage. Now suppose reservation. ମୁଁ ଏବେ reservation ର ଗୋଟେ policy ଆଣୁଛି. This is when I'm preparing the reservation 80% A category ପାଇଁ 80% A category ପାଇଁ I'll know कि more than some parts of the population will not like this, some parts of population will like this. There will be strikes, there will be dharnas, there will be petitions, there will be cases, Supreme Court cases. तो ମୁଁ ସେଇ ହିସାବରେ ମୋ team prepare ରଖିବି, legal notices ପାଇଁ ready ରହିବି, everything. Article 370 for example ଯେତେବେଳେ ମୁଁ ଆଣିଥିଲି, ତ this this is the answer without really again knowing policy about the basics of public policy, just guess କରିକି eliminate କରିକି. Okay. So elimination skill ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ develop କରିବାର ଅଛି and that will again come with PYQ practice and some mock tests. Okay. PYQs are the blueprint. Okay, fine. How do we analyze? Look for the style of asking questions. Yes. Two statement questions, three statement questions, assertion reasoning questions, one-liner questions. Which of the above is not correct questions? Okay. Match the following questions. All these aspects will come in the style of asking questions. So accordingly, you have to prepare. Okay. Then look for important themes, high-yielding zones, subject-wise, and map it to the micro syllabus. Okay. Let's see if we can identify some important themes. Let's see. Yeah. So this is 2022 question paper. 2022 question paper. देखो 8 within the span of just 4 questions. What's happening? Let's see. Which of the following statements is correct regarding Article 21 of the Constitution? 8 Article 21 पे सिर्फ चलना. नर्मदा बचाओ आंदोलन case, right to life, right to water, Supreme Court, something something. 71 पर सीधा 73 question देखो तो. Which of the following statements are correct in respect of right to education? Again, Article 21 में से something something is being asked. 21A, 21, okay, similar, related. 74th question. Again, Article 21 बेसरे right to privacy एठी पचरा होची. Again, Article 21 एठी mention होची. Article 12 of UDHR एठी पचरा होची. Article 17 of ICCPR एठी पचरा होची. And Article 8 of European Convention on Human Rights मते हमको एठी पचरा होची. Okay. And then again in 75th question, एठी जो UDHR आपण देखिले, again तारे related गोटे UDHR question आसीगला. Next year, again right to privacy उपरे Article 21 उपरे आउ गोटे question आसीगला. Which tells me ମୁଁ ଆଉ କିଛି ଜାଣିନି, ମୁଁ ଏବେ ସୁଦ୍ଧା ଏକ୍ସାମ ବିଷୟରେ କିଛି ଜାଣିନି, ମୁଁ ଫର୍ଷ୍ଟ ଟାଇମ ଦଉଛି, ମୁଁ ଖାଲି ଜଷ୍ଟ ଗୋଟେ ରିଡିଂ ମାରିଛି, କେମିତି କଣ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚନ୍ସ ଆସେ ମୁଁ ଦେଖିନି, ବଟ୍ ଏତିକି ତ ମୁଁ ଜାଣିଗଲି that Article 21 in itself is a very very important thing for this exam. Okay, important topic. So I will read the ins and outs of Article 21 properly and prepare them accordingly. Okay, ଏତିକି ମୁଁ ଜାଣିଲି. ତା ଛଡା କଣ ଜାଣିଲି ଯେ ସେମାନେ UDHR ର ଏମିତି ଇଣ୍ଡିଭିଜୁଆଲ ଆର୍ଟିକଲ୍ସ ପଚାରି ଦଉଛନ୍ତି. तो मु UDHR एज अ टॉपिक को भलसे प्रिपेयर करी तार भी आर्टिकल नंबर्स मन रखी जिबी. ता छडा को जानली जे ICCPR इज आल्सो इंपोर्टेंट से आर्टिकल 17 आर्टिकल 8 एमती डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चन से पचार दोछन. यूरोपियन कन्वेंशन ऑफ ह्यूमन राइट्स इज इंपोर्टेंट. बेसिकली गोटे टॉपिक अछि राइट्स बेस्ड इश्यूज व्हिच इज देयर इन द प्रीलिम्स सिलेबस. ओके. So rights based issues, right? It's not only fundamental rights from India, but it's also UDHR, it's also ICCPR, it's also European Convention. All these aspects will come into play in rights based issue जोटा कि मते भलसे prepare करिवार अछि. Rights based issue देखिले खाली vague लागिबो, but PYQs will tell you आपनको कोन सब जिंस पढियार अछि. Okay. So hence this is one way of analyzing the question paper. ठीक आगु बढ़िया. See, these are some land features, geomorphological features. This is the agent, the erosion agent. This is 2021 question. Same, almost same question, similar question. Process, process, and this is again geomorphological feature. Okay, same. This is 2022 question, which tells me geomorphology ro in sabu aeolian kono, fluvial kono, uh, and those ice based glacial kono. All these things I have to study. Okay, for prelims. Panchayati Raj system. Ashok Mehta committee एठी पचला 2021. 2022 रे न्याय पंचायत एट अ विलेज अगेन कमिटी विषय पचला जो अशोक मेहता कमिटी भी गोटे ऑप्शन अच्छी. 2022 रे ही अगेन पंचायती राज विषय रे पंचायती राज not exactly but entry 5 of list 2 of 7th schedule of Indian constitution deals with what? The answer is local government, of which panchayati raj is a part. Okay, then 2023 रे Again, Union List, 7th Schedule of Indian Constitution, 6টা सब्जेक्ट अछि कौन अछि again पचरला ठीक है एनालिसिस जदि करले पंचायती राज एज अ थीम इज इम्पोर्टेंट ओके बहुत भल से डिटेल रे पढ़ियार अछि बिकॉज़ कमिटीज रो ना भी पचारछि ओके देन एठी जेहेतु लिस्ट 2 ऑफ 7th शेड्यूल पचारला हमु जदि 7th शेड्यूल विषय एठी 2022 रे से थरे पचारछि ताले हमें जानले जे 7th शेड्यूल रो भी डिटेल्स हमु किछ किछ दरकार only then we would have been able to solve this in the 2023 question paper okay 100 subjects in the list ki ketara subject or whatever okay and then same ethi jehetu ashok mehta committee pachar thila ame committee padhiya thila and hence ethi committee based gote question asigola so a road map ki agu questions kon asi pare kon areas ru pachari semane paranti एठी नीति आयोग रिपोर्ट रो गोटे रैंक पचारला मल्टी डायमेंशनल पॉवर्टी इंडेक्स सम रैंक दिस इज 2021 again multidimensional lowest share of total multidimensional pool in India with state. Then 80% semane which state topped the country in organ donation with state, which means whatever reports are coming in, okay, tara top ranked state, tara lowest ranked state, and amo jehetu OPSC exam तार ओडिशा रो रैंक कोन ए तीनटा जिंस हमकु जानियार अछि एथु हमकु जानिया को मिलला देन इंटरनेशनल एवरेस्ट डे 2022 वर्ल्ड एनवायरनमेंट डे 2023 ओके इंटरनेशनल डेज तार थीम्स तार केबे फर्स्ट ऑब्जर्व हेथिला कोन एक्चुअली एवरी डे हुए some related personalities all these themes will come कि हमको केमती पढ़ियार अछि so this is how PYQs will prove to be the roadmap this is just a very short analysis ମୁଁ ଆଗକୁ PYQ sessions ବି ଆଣିବି and analysis sessions ବି ଆଣିବି where I'll show you even in more detail how PYQs analysis can help you get closer to that cutoff score ମୁଁ कहूନି 200 ରୁ 200 ରଖିଦେବେ but cutoff score ରୁ +5 ରଖିବା is possible based on PYQ analysis alone okay prepare yeah this is one so this is how look for important themes and everything is done this part is done look for elimination and logic dekheli don't forget the options or the options and the keywords of course every option or keyword in a PYQ may be the subject of a future question like I showed committee schedule everything will tell you ki next mate kon se mane pachari pare coming to subject sprints what is subject sprint ये जो 10 days polity 15 days history 15 days environment and geography combine करके 10 days economy and all those things I talked about this at length in my this video yeah how to prepare for prelims 120 this was my comeback video by the way so 120 days ଏଠି ଆପଣ phase 2 revision this is for freshers ମୁଁ ଏଇଟା ବହୁତ ଭଲସେ discuss କରିଛି this for freshers and for veterans also there is a phase 2 plan the sprint plan ଏଠି କେତେଟା ସବୁ how to take tests what to do everything has been detailed in the discussed in detail in that video please ତାକୁ ଦେଖିବେ ଯଦି doubt ଅଛି about how to go about this process then make a plan 10 to 15 days sprints for every subject you can wait a minute second सफा कर दवा yeah orient your reading as per your PYQ analysis yes this is important ଥରେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଫର୍ଷ୍ଟ ଟାଇମ୍ ଆପଣ ଏଜ୍ ଏ ଫ୍ରେଶର ପଢିଥିବେ ଗୋଟେ ଡିଫରେଣ୍ଟ ୱେରେ ପଢିଥିବେ ଜେନେରାଲ ନଲେଜ ରଖିବା ପାଇଁ ପଢିଥିବେ ମାନୁଛି ବୁଝୁଛି ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କ ସାଙ୍ଗରେ ଫର୍ଷ୍ଟ ଟାଇମ୍ that is natural but now that you know କି previous year questions କେମିତି ଡିଜାଇନ ହଉଛି questions ର language କଣ questions ର ଜାଣିବାକୁ କଣ ଚାହୁଁଛି ପଚାରିବାକୁ କଣ ଚାହୁଁଛି ଆପଣଙ୍କ reading has to be oriented according to orient your reading as per your PYQ analysis you can take ideas from the 120 day indicative planner yes all there on my channel and there in a YouTube video on my Telegram channel and YouTube video focus on memorization and recall rather than just awareness. I'm coming to that active recall. Re-attempt the PYQs to revalidate what kind of knowledge the exam expects. After reading everything also, re-attempt the PYQs just to keep that structure in mind ki how I'll go about the process. Okay. Okay. That was about sprints, active recall and memorization. Now, what is active recall and memorization and where do we generally go wrong? See, when we repeatedly read things, it gives us a pseudo feeling, a false sense of feeling that ଆମକୁ ସବୁ ମନେ ରହିଗଲା, ଆମର ସବୁ complete ହେଇଗଲା. But the moment someone asks us, कि अच्छा मते कहलो एई बहिटा okay, civil uprising, Santhal uprising रो किसी details कहलो ना. Okay, this ହେଇଥିଲା. ଆରେ यार ମତେ ମନେ ପଡୁନି. ଆରେ ସେ page ର ଛୋଟ box ରେ left hand side ରେ ତଳେ right left column ତଳେ ଗୋଟେ box ରେ ଦିଆ ହେଇଛି. ଓ ମତେ ମନେ ପଡୁନି. ଆଉ ଥରେ ପଢିକି କହୁଛି. See, that means you have focused on awareness कि हाँ ଥରେ ପଢି ଦିଏ, options ଦେଖିକି eliminate କରିଦେବି. But ସେ ଜମାନା ଗଲା. ଏବେ accurate information ଦରକାର କରୁଛି question solve କରିବା ପାଇଁ, ଯୋଉଠି କି little the smallest of details ବି ଦରକାର. Awareness alone is not important. For that kind of memorization, for that kind of information retention, you need to have you need to adopt this technique of active recall. Active recall आजिकली market रे आसीची thanks to these two books. যদি बेसी ideas दरकार about active recall, may read these two books. The one is Make It Stick, one is How to Learn. Okay, ठीक है, बहुत बहुत ही बढ़िया बही. Time पाइके just 1 hour देकी ताको 6-7 days रे सारी की, you can get a lot of ideas about how to read or learn anything from scratch. Okay, so rereading creates familiarity, but only active recall builds memory. It combats the illusion of mastery. Just because you remember where it was in the book doesn't mean you can answer it at 9:58 a.m. with 15 seconds left and the examiner getting ready to snatch your papers. Under pressure, मन पकया एते easy नुहे जदि आपण सेमती train करनाहांती निज mind को. Best way to do this: quiz yourself using only headings. A small illustration. Without illustration, my videos are not complete, so I'll illustrate that in a very small manner, both brief manner, quickly. Let's make it quick because our video is already 25 minutes long. Okay. Announced in Partition of Bengal. I've taken Partition of Bengal as an example because all of you and all of us like reading this topic, and किसी ना किसी आपनो idea थिबो पढ़ी थिबे. Okay. Why? Question is why? Announced in July 1905, came into force in October 1905. The main purpose was to weaken Bengal, which was the nerve center of Indian nationalist activity. सब जगह scholars, सब जगह leaders Bengal रही थे, तो they wanted to break Bengal apart. Official reason, of course, they have to justify it. The official reason was Bengal had become too big to administer. 78 million population. Okay. Bengal, तो ताकू दीटा वेरे भांगिले. Bengal comprising Bihar and Odisha, Eastern Bengal and Assam, out of which Assam was a chief commissioner's province. Okay. Division on the basis of language and religion. Now, how do I memorize this? How do I memorize these details? Or ଏବେ ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ଲାଗୁଛି କି ମତେ ମୁଁ ଥରେ ପଢିଦେଲି ସବୁ ମନେ ରହିଗଲା, but ପରେ again 10 days ପରେ ପଢିଲା ବେଳକୁ ଛୋଟ ଛୋଟ details you might miss it. So you have to create active recall questions for that. What was the rough timeline? When I come back 10 days later, I'll first go through these questions to see mate kette mane achi. Instead of again rereading the same thing and again having a pseudo feeling ki mate सब mane achi. Okay. First, I'll go through these questions. What was the rough timeline? Na July 1905 रे announce ହେଇଥିଲା, October 1905 रे ତାକୁ ସେମାନେ execute କଲେ. Actual motive versus official reason. Actual motive was weaken the nerve center, that is Bengal. Official reason was 78 million population, difficult to administer, hence we need to break it up. Okay. Scheme of partition: population 78 million, chief commissioner's province. Assam was the chief commissioner province. Bengal, Odisha, and Bihar was one. East Bengal was the other. Then again, same thing. For this part, there are some questions. For this part, there are some questions. Okay. So this is how you have to memorize all the details of any topic. जहाँ भी आपन topics अच्छी, questions अच्छी, या फिर जो भी बहिरो अपन पढ़ुचंती, instead of taking माने of course for mains you have to take all those notes because बड़ बड़ बही को summarize करियार अच्छी mains ପାଇଁ, but prelims ପାଇଁ I'll suggest take these kind of notes. और जदि गोटे बड़ बही को जदि आपण summarize करिକି छोट को भी नहीं आछंती, then सेई छोट notes रो भी एई भलिया active recall questions बाहर करंतु. Okay. So that will help you memorize the things in a very concrete manner. चारि थर जदि एई जिंस को करि देले ना, से जिंस at least exam पर्यंत तो आपण मुंडरू जिबनी. पुनी next year बेलको again you'll have to revise, but exam पर्यंत आपण मुंडरू जिबनी. Think about it. Work like this. Okay. So this was active recall. How to use mocks to practice and gain mastery. Okay. Most students give 30 to 40 mocks, but they still fail. Why? Because most of them are focused on collecting content. ମୁଁ vision ର ବି download କରିଦେଇଛି, forum ର ବି download କରିଦେଇଛି, ବାଜିରାମ ର କିଣି ଦେଇଛି, next IS ର download କରିଦେଇଛି, ସବୁ କରିଦେଇଛି. अच्छा भाई सॉल्व करछु ना नहीं ना सॉल्व कौन करियो खाली जो कंटेंट अछि पढ़ दे जीवो सॉल्व की करियो No, that is a very wrong approach. You are collecting content, yes, बहुत बढ़िया content, बहुत बढ़िया research teams, they are multi-billion dollars company, dollar companies. तो तांकर research team एते भलो ही थिबो कि भलो content आनी की दबो. But it is not helping you polish your MCQ, solving skills. Okay. Test series is a tool for time pressure training. Okay. 2 घंटा रे या फिर घंटे रे बसी कि मु केमिति solve करूची. Stamina building. बसिबार भी तो अभ्यास हवा कथा. Okay. Error analysis and pattern recognition. Very obvious things, nothing mane fresh in that. Key rules: try to attempt these tests at 9:30 a.m. You can start with online, but eventually download those papers and appear offline using real OMRs. Amo test series, prelims, pulse test series we allow question paper download, which Odisha I don't think other institutes allow. ସେମାନେ piracy ପାଇଁ ବହୁତ ଡରନ୍ତି as if ନିଜର ତାଙ୍କ it's their original work, but um, we allow that download. So if you are interested to join our test series, do ping us. Okay, online, but eventually download those papers and offline using real OMRs. Experiment with actual paper pacing and strategy. Each test gives you a fresh opportunity to experiment. Okay, देखिए मु आगे 1 ରୁ 10 न करिकी मु आगे देखिए 91 ରୁ 100 କରୁଛି कौन होची मु आगे देखिए 51 ରୁ 60 କରୁଛି कौन होची मु आगे देखिए पॉलिटी सेक्शन कर दोची कौन होची या फिर आगे इकोनॉमी कर दोची so mix and match all this, do all kinds of experiment until you finally realize कि okay this is the best way to go about it. Okay, so experiment करंतु. After each test, don't ask how many marks did I score. Instead, ask what kind of mistakes I did. And that brings me to analysis of marks. There are two kinds of analysis of marks. Okay. One is ମୁଁ କୋଉ ରାଉଣ୍ଡ ରେ କେତେଟା ଆଟେମ୍ପ୍ଟ କଲି ଏଣ୍ଡ ମୋର କଣ ଆକ୍ୟୁରେସି ଆସିଲା ଫର୍ଷ୍ଟ ରାଉଣ୍ଡ ରେ ଯଦି ମୁଁ କନଫିଡେଣ୍ଟଲି 30ଟା या 35ଟା क्वेश्चन ମାରିଛି या 20 या 25ଟା क्वेश्चन ମାରିଛି ତାହେଲେ आई शुड एम फॉर समथिंग अराउंड 95% एक्यूरेसी एई क्वेश्चंस जदी भूल हे गला इवन गॉड कैन नॉट हेल्प मी बिकॉज़ मु कॉन्फिडेंटली मारुची मु भल से पढिची ए क्वेश्चंस गुडा जदी सेठी मु भूल कर दउची सेठी मु एक्यूरेसी खस जाउची आई बेग योर पार्डन सेठी जदी मो एक्यूरेसी खसी जाउची टू 70% टू 60% ताले आई एम ऑलरेडी आउट ऑफ द रेस एम फॉर 95%. Round 2 is when you come back to all the unattempted questions and start guessing some using some intelligent knowledge or using relative associated knowledge to solve those questions. Okay, 50-60% is a good number, but try to keep it around 65 to 70%. Okay, eta bhi with practice you'll get there. And round 3 यार मत तो किछि आसनी मु तो कोन जमा 60 टा क्वेश्चन ये करछि चलो 5टा की 6टा खंडे वाइल्ड मार दवा जहा हब दिखे 20%. It less than 20%. This I won't advise you to do it, but this and this are totally the rules of the game. You have to follow this pattern. And the other type of analysis is error type analysis. ମୁଁ କଣ ଭୁଲ କଲି? Was it a silly mistake? Was it a recall gap? Was it an application error? And all kinds of things. Again, to illustrate this, let me use test papers from our own test series. ମୁଁ କାଇଁ ଆଉ କୋଉ institute test series को ये करिବି. Okay. ମୁଁ Okay, this is a medieval history test question paper. Okay. ଏଠି ଗୋଟେ question ଅଛି about Bhomakara dynasty. Let's see. Which of the following statements regarding the Bhomakara dynasty of Odisha are correct? Mane, I'll try and assume different roles through the next 2-3 minutes. Just bear with me. Okay. So Guhadeva Pataka, the capital of Bhomakaras, is identified with modern day Cuttack. No, I know Guhadeva Pataka is something related to Jajpur. Suppose you are someone who knows that this option is wrong. It's actually related to Jajpur, not Cuttack. Distinctive feature of dynasty was the rule of sovereign queens with Buddhist affiliations. Yes, this was a very famous thing for them. Queens both thile and Buddhism भी semane promote करथुले. This is correct. Dynasty was ultimately overthrown by the Eastern Gangas through a prolonged military campaign. No, it was overthrown by the Somavamshis. Somavamshis pore Eastern Gangas asla. Okay, so I know this is also incorrect. I know answer is B. So what I'll do, I'll just quickly, instead of wasting my too much time, I'll just quickly see कि ये जो solution अच्छी, is it according to my notes या फिर मु जहाँ पढ़ी छी से or not? हाँ ठीक अच्छी गोदेव पटका with modern Gohiratikar near Jajpur town in Jajpur district, not Cuttack. Done. Somavamshis ताको ये करथिले, Eastern came later in the 11th century. Done.
Rule of several queens, including Tribhuvana Mahadevi I, Tribhuvana Mahadevi II, Dandi Mahadevi, patrons of Buddhism, strong Buddhist affiliations. Nothing new information. Maybe the names of these queens is new. Maybe this place's name Gohiratikar is new. So I'll make a small note of these things, but I'll not waste my time much on reading this solution. Okay, but suppose आगू को जाएं we come across a question. Yeah. Which of the following literary works is considered among the earliest prose compositions in Odia and emerged during the Gajapati era? Now, I have no idea about this question. भाई एटा कोड पचाले से मैंने लक्ष्मी पुराण ହେଇପାରେ ସାରଳା ମହାଭାରତ ହେଇପାରେ ମାଦଳ ପାଞ୍ଜି ହେଇପାରେ ଚାନ୍ଦି ପୁରାଣ ହେଇପାରେ I don't know. So, ଏଠି I'll go to solution number 40 and I'll read the answer. Madala Panji is the answer. Okay. Um, It may be Madala, it may be Madala. Sorry for my pronunciation. ମୁଁ ଟିକେ ଜାଣିନି ୟା ବିଷୟରେ. Containing prose narratives that emerged during the Gajapati era. Another Rudra Sudhanidhi. ଏଇ ଦିଟା ବହୁତ ହି famous ଥିଲେ during that era. Okay. Others, ଯୋଉ ସବୁ option ଅଛି, Sarla Mahabharat, Chandni Puran, and Lakshmi Puran. These are poetry. These are not prose. ଏଠି ମତେ extra information ମିଳୁଛି. Sarla Das ଆକୁ ବନେଇଛନ୍ତି. ବଳରାମ ଦାସ ଆକୁ ବନେଇଛନ୍ତି and ଏଇ ଯୋଉ ରୁଦ୍ର so not only Madhura Panji I get to know a lot about other things also ଯୋଉଟା କି ମୁଁ ପଢି ନଥିଲି so ୟାର ମୁଁ ମୋର ସେଇ error logbook ଯୋଉଠି ମୁଁ ସବୁ ଯାକ mock test ର notes ବନଉଛି error logbook ଗୋଟେ maintain କରିବାର ଅଛି ଯେତେଟା mock test ଦେବେ ଯାହା ଯାହା ନୂଆ information ପାଇବେ ଏଇଠି ଆପଣ ତାର notes ତାକୁ ବନେଇକି ରଖିଦେବେ okay ସେମିତି ଆଗକୁ ଯିବେ Mughal administration in Odisha bisare some question. You might get something new. Then current affairs question asibo Chandipura virus. What is Chandipura virus? You might not have heard it. So you make notes out of that. Okay. Chandipura virus question number 49. Yeah. So Chandipura virus, something something, West Africa, something something, Tapurburu Aditya L1, something something, Tapurburu 5 eyes, something something. So every question you may know something, you may not know something. You will make notes out of those parts which do not know. You will go back to your sources to revise which you already know. Okay. So this is the way of attempting mocks and analyzing mocks. Okay. This was about mocks. And last, of course, the CSAT question. CSAT is a different is a subjective thing for different people. You have to. Some of you might not have touched after standard 12 or standard 10, but जिबे exam hall रे जिबे and आराम से 100 कोड़िया cross करिकी आराम से pass ହେଇକି ଆସିବେ. Some of you जे कि day in day out practice कला परे भी ଟିକେ हुए तो weak ଥିବେ CSAT रे. So for that my 3-step strategy is first apply solve the PYQs appear any 23 ର 22 ର 21 ର question paper ଉଠେଇବେ ତାର as a cold mocks you appear it as a cold mock is something ମୁଁ କିଛି prepared ନାହିଁ ଗୋଟେ test paper ଉଠେଇକି ଦେଇ ମୁଁ ଏବେ ଆଜିକା date ରେ ଯଦି IIT JEE ର question paper ଉଠେଇକି କହିବି ଚଲ ମୁଁ ଆକୁ solve କରିକି ଦେବି okay solve କରିକି ଦେଖେ କଣ ହଉଛି that is a cold mock for me because ମୋର school ପାଠ ସାଙ୍ଗରେ touch ଛାଡିଗଲାଣି almost 15 years ହେଇଗଲାଣି ତ ମୁଁ ଏବେ IIT JEE ର ପାଠ how so that is a cold mock you appear it as a cold mock and then identify your weak zone कि ମୁଁ ଏଇ regions were good enough for me comprehension କରିପାରିଲି reasoning କରିପାରିଲି but quants ରେ ଫସିଲି या फिर quants କରିପାରୁଥିଲି but critical reasoning ରେ ଫସିଲି so identify your weak zone comprehension arithmetic reasoning time speed distance and once diagnosed practice these sections 3 times 3x times okay ଏଇ ଜିନିଷ ଗୁଡାକୁ ଭଲସେ practice କରନ୍ତୁ number 1 use YouTube strategically बहुत सारा free resources अच्छी my recommendation is this channel EduTap बहुत ही बढ़िया इंस्टीट्यूट फॉर क्वांट्स प्रिपरेशन ସେମାନେ आरबीआई ଆଉ ନାବାର୍ଡ ର କୋଚିଂ ଦିଅନ୍ତି ବଟ୍ ତାଙ୍କର ୟୁଟ୍ୟୁବରେ ଫ୍ରି ପ୍ଲେଲିଷ୍ଟ ଅଛି अबाउट क्वांट्स एंड इंग्लिश ओके एंड ସବୁଠୁ ମୂଳ ମନ୍ତ୍ର ହଉଛି ଡୋंट डिले योर सीसैट प्रैक्टिस आई विल प्रिपेयर फॉर सीसैट इन द लास्ट मंथ नो डोंट डू दैट ओके ଯଦି ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ଲାଗୁଛି କି सीसैट डाइसी ଅଛି ଅଲଦୋ सीसैट यूपीएससी लेवल ର डिफिकल्टी କେବେ ଓଡ଼ିଶାରେ ସେମାନେ ପଚାରିବେନି this is what I feel they will not ask that but if it is that dicey even pick up amount small amount maybe you feel that you are not confident start early you have to give a lot time to CSAT from the very beginning okay it's not a big deal should be an easy task okay So that was about it about this video. 38 minutes 41 seconds. Okay. So I'll take you leave video ଖାଲି ମୁଁ ଲମ୍ବା କରିବାକୁ ଚାହୁଁନି। ଆଉ କଣ particular aspects from this video if you feel କି ହଁ ଏଇ ଉପରେ ସାର୍ ଆଉ ଟିକେ focused video ବନାନ୍ତୁ ୟା 15-20 ମିନିଟର ଟିକେ ଭଲସେ lecture ଦିଅନ୍ତୁ କହିବେ ତାକୁ ବନେଇକି ଆଣିବି। And in the meantime, for this PDF and for more free resources and mains questions, prelims tests, quizzes, join a Telegram channel. Just type Udyam IS on Telegram and you'll get it. I'm 1.5K subscribers very recently. Thank you for subscribing for that. If you like this video, uh, press the like button, subscribe, and bell icon, all those YouTuber wala feeling wala aspects. And until next time, I'll take you leave. Bye bye.